for the commentary on the law of consumer protection, 4th edition by Advocate Shyam Padman, published by LexisNexis.
May we request the Vice President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Advocate Bindu R, to escort the Chief Guest, Hon'ble Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Chief Justice of Kerala, to the dais. Hon'ble Mr. Justice Surendra Mohan, former Judge, High Court of Kerala, and the President of the Kerala State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. Hon'ble Mr. Justice V. Ramkumar, former Judge, High Court of Kerala. Senior Advocate Gopalakrishna Kurup, the Advocate General of Kerala. Advocate Manu S., the Deputy Solicitor General of India. Advocate Shyam Padman, author of the book. Advocate T. Naveen, Secretary of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association. Advocate Bindu S., Vice President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association.
Being graced by the chance to gather in this momentous ceremony, let us begin the formal ceremony with an invocation led by Advocate Simi. Commentary on the law of consumer protection, 4th edition, authored by Advocate Shyam Padman and published by LexisNexis. The emergence of global supply chains, rise in international trade, and the rapid development of e-commerce and the consequent development of novel forms of unfair and unethical trade practices necessitated an overhaul of the law on consumer protection, which culminated in the enactment of the Consumer Protection Act 2019 in repeal of the former Act of 1986. The book is published in 2 volumes as a 4th edition of D.P Wadhwa and N.L. Rajah's commentary on the law of consumer protection by LexisNexis. The text is also available as an e-book. This section-wise commentary is the first authoritative text on Consumer Protection Act 2019 in this series, and is indeed a matter of pride for all of us gathered here, as it is authored by an esteemed member of our fraternity, Advocate Shyam Padman. We sincerely hope that this book will be embraced by the bar, the bench, the students and luminaries alike as an indispensable tool to navigate the field of consumer laws.
Now, for the welcome address by Advocate T. Naveen, Secretary of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association.
Wish you all a lovely evening. Vice President Advocate Bindu R, who is presiding over this function. Honorable Chief Justice of Kerala, Mr. Justice S. Manikumar. Honorable Mr. Justice S. K. Surendra Mohan. Honorable Mr. Justice V. Ramkumar. Honorable Justice attending this function. Senior Advocate K. Gopalakrishna Kurup, Advocate General of Kerala. Advocate Manu S., Deputy Solicitor General of India. Advocate Shyam Padman, the author of the book. Advocate Bindu S., Vice President of the Association. Former judges, senior advocates, other dignitaries of the dais, my dear law friends, staff of the registry, clerks, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first formal function organized by the newly elected committee of the association. Before we proceed further, with the permission of the chair, I take this opportunity to make a humble request before each one of you to extend all kind of support and cooperation to the association in the coming days. We are gathered here to witness the official release of the book, The Law of Consumer Protection, 4th edition, authored by Advocate Shyam Padman. We have with us our beloved Hon'ble Chief Justice, who always extended endless support to all the activities organized by the association for the past more than 3 years. I wish Honorable Chief Justice will extend the same kind of support and blessing to all the endeavors of this committee as well. I, on behalf of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association and all who gathered here, most courteously welcome you, sir, to this wonderful event. Hon'ble Mr. Justice Surendra Mohan, former judge of this Hon'ble, is presently the President of Kerala State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. Hon'ble Mr. Justice Surendra Mohan, while a judge of this Hon'ble, is well known for his calm and composed manner, maintained even amidst heated arguments. I, on behalf of the association and all who gathered here, extend an embracing welcome to you, sir. Hon'ble Mr. Justice D.P Wadhwa, former judge of this Hon'ble, is not a guest to most of us gathered here, except a few new entrants to the bar. Hon'ble Justice D.P Wadhwa still maintains strong bond with the members of the bar by having numerous legal and academic interactive sessions. I, on behalf of the association and all who assembled here, extend a warm-hearted welcome to you, sir. Senior Advocate K. Gopalakrishna Kurup, Advocate General of Kerala, is a true leader of the bar. He has warmly consented to receive a copy of the book from Honorable Chief Justice in this book release organized by the association. I, on behalf of the association and all who are here to witness the function, extend a pleasant welcome to you, sir. Advocate Manu S., Deputy Solicitor General of India, has amiably agreed to felicitate this book release function with his thoughtful words. I, on behalf of the association and all who assembled here, extend a cordial welcome to you, sir. On an official note, I welcome Vice President of the Association, Advocate Bindu R., and Vice President Advocate Bindu S. to this function. Advocate Shyam Padman is well known for his expertise in medical legal matters and consumer law. He is an erudite and scholarly lawyer, having active practice in all areas of law, and we all know that his book will be a true testament to that. I happily welcome Advocate Shyam Padman to this function. I wholeheartedly welcome all the honorable judges attending this function, former judges, senior advocates, many dignitaries, my dear lawyer friends, staff of the registry, clerks, and all who gathered here to make this function colorful. Thank you.
We now move on to the presidential address by Advocate Bindu R., Vice President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association.
Honorable Chief Justice Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Honorable Justice Mr. Justice K. Surendra Mohan, Honorable Justice Mr. Justice D. Ramkumar, other judges of this Honorable Court, Advocate General Senior Advocate Sri K. Gopalakrishna Kurup, Deputy Solicitor General of India Advocate Manu S., Director General of Prosecution Senior Advocate Sri P.A. Shaji, State Attorney Advocate N. Kumar, Advocate Shyam Padman, Advocate Naveen Secretary, Advocate Bindu Vice President, respected Senior Advocates, Advocate P.K. Shantama, President Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, other officials, and my dear friends. First of all, I bow my head in front of all who assembled here, and it is a great honor for me to be here in this function today. As all of you are well aware that these eminent personalities attending this ceremony needs no introduction. Today, we have assembled here for the official launch of the book on Consumer Protection Act. This book is the outcome of the dedicated work of Advocate Shyam Padman, an eminent advocate of this bar. Advocate Shyam Padman is a well-known personality and guest faculty in many schools and other institutions, including Judicial Academy. As you know, now in this age of internet and globalization, the international trade and traders have formed a global web, finding out their markets all over the world. There is high-level competition and option, which will surely confuse the customers in finding out the right choice. This will make every chance for the consumers to be exploited and cheated. The Consumer Protection Act is introduced by the government to prevent such exploitation of consumers from traders. Even though there is protection from exploitation, still the law is in its infant stage. Our beloved chairman of the State Consumer Redressal Disputes Commission, Mr. Justice Surendra Mohan sir, is determined in enduring earnest effort to safeguard the interest of consumers, standing within the limitations along with his vibrant team. At this stage, it is remarkable to know the prestigious to say that Advocate Shyam Padman is contributing a very valuable work which will be helpful to the consumer activists and other officials of India. I am quite confident and sure that this book will become a holy text to all the consumers who are in the field of protecting rights of consumers. Since all of you are waiting to hear the speech of scholars who are well versed in the subject, I am concluding by words. I thank Advocate Shyam Padman for the earnest effort taken by him to release this book here today. I am sure that this book will be accepted wholeheartedly by the readers. I express my gratitude to the organizers of this function for providing me this opportunity. Thank you all.
During the days of my practice, we had a short stenographer who used to adjust her height by mounting on the fat volume of AR 1963 Supreme Court. It is the fattest volume. It was an understanding between the court officer and the stenographer. Anyway, I don't intend to make any such any impious adventure today to mount on 1963's AR. After my second COVID attack, followed by a spell of viral fever, I am in a very bad shape. And had it not been for Mr. Shyam Padman's book launch, I would not have taken the trouble of mounting this platform, this dais. I am supposed to introduce Advocate Mr. Shyam Padman, the author and editor of this wonderful book, which will shortly be released by the Honorable Chief Justice. Advocate Mr. Shyam Padman is too well known to the legal fraternity, not only in Kerala but also across the country. His Little's platform is widely acclaimed for its scholarly analysis and hair-splitting interactive sessions. I therefore do not wish to carry colds to Newcastle by attempting to introduce Mr. Shyam Padman, who is a lawyer without any initial to his name, but with a lot of initiatives and original thinking. A former judge of this court and hailing from Kasaragod, I hope you will guess him out, had a shopper by name Shyam. The judge used to call him Shyame, giving a sort of gender perplexity to the listeners. Aping the learned judge, I am also calling Mr. Shyam Padman Shyame. I don't think he relishes that. Anyway, this is how I address him. Even though Mr. Shyam Padman is very well known to you, I, however, wish to share with you something unknown to you and which was unknown to me as well as to Mr. Shyam too till recently. The first medical legal case on the alleged professional negligence of a surgeon was conducted by Mr. Shyam while as a budding junior of Advocate D.P of Calicut. The judge before whom Mr. Shyam argued the case was none other than this humble self. Way back in the year 1990, he got a favorable verdict in that case for Dr. D.P Wadhwa, who was the wife of the renowned criminal lawyer, late Sri Wadhwa. But the mystery is that till recently both myself and Mr. Shyam were not recollecting the role played by each of us in that case. It was only when Mr. Shyam narrated his first experience about the said medical legal case, which he argued before the then additional district and session judge of Calicut, that it struck me that I was the presiding judge in that case. To his utter surprise, Mr. Shyam also discovered that he had argued that case before me. For preparing the judgment in that case, I had borrowed some medical books from Dr. Bhadran, a reputed gynecologist of Calicut, and related to me through my wife. The interesting conclusion reached in that case was that a woman who does not want any more child, may get conceived as a rare post-operative complication of salpingectomy performed for stopping childbirth. That is the usual, the rare postoperative complication. A woman who doesn't want any more child may conceive. That is the salpingectomy. That is the Dr. Malati Budwal got the benefit of doubt in that case. Over the years, Mr. Shyam has mastered the consumer law jurisprudence. He is a chosen resource person of the Kerala Judicial Academy as well. He is now invited to the prestigious National Law School, Bangalore, for a presentation on consumer forensics. It may not be an exaggeration if I say that Mr. Shyam Padman could be rated as the best lawyer in medico-legal consumerism. This consumer law of 2019 is also fraught with certain inadequacies and deficiencies, some of which have been alluded to by Mr. Shyam Padman within the scope of his limited freedom. In his preface to the book, I am sure that the judiciary in this country, though not the tribunals manned by inexperienced bureaucrats, the judiciary will take care of the pitfalls in the present statute. After all, Lord Atkins' path-breaking verdict in Donoghue versus Stevenson was not meant to be confined into the year 1934 alone. Summing up, I have no doubt in my mind that this treatise on consumer protection law will be much sought after commentary, treasured by both the bench and the bar, and more particularly by those at the cutting edge of consumer forensics. Thank you for your remarkable patience. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Justice, my esteemed brother Justice Ramkumar, the Attorney General, other dignitaries on and off the dais, a very good evening to both all of you. It's my pleasure to be here this evening after so many years. Stepping into the portals of this court itself was filling my mind with a lot of nice memories and thoughts about the nice enjoyable days spent within the portals of this court, of which I was a part of for about 38 years. Well, that apart, the duty that has been entrusted to me today is to introduce this book on consumer protection that has been edited and authored by Advocate Shyam Padman. You all know that the 1986 Act that was initially in force was repealed, and the new Consumer Protection Act of 2019 was brought into force. The last edition of the book was in 2017. Therefore, no edition of the book that touched upon the provisions of the 2019 Act was in existence. It is this void that has been sought to be filled by Advocate Shyam Padman by his momentous work. The book runs into thousands of pages, spread over 2 volumes, and I have had the opportunity over the past 1 week to browse through the book. That's all, because to go through it elaborately is going to take a lot of time. Friends, India is a country with a large population of 150 crores. And a large chunk of this population is what we usually call the middle class. The peculiarity of the middle class is that they are extremely hardworking. And because they are extremely hardworking, they earn substantially. And because they earn substantially, their purchasing power is enormous. They are also ambitious, because they are always ambitious about traveling on to the higher levels of the society. It is this psyche of the middle class, the size of the middle class, the purchasing power of the middle class that is sought to be exploited by the traders, by the manufacturers, by the service providers, and the persons who are interested in selling products within our country. Globally, India is recognized as a very substantial market whose purchasing power is immense and remaining, according to them, untapped. Therefore, we have a situation where all sorts of gimmicks, techniques are put into operation to lure and to attract the people to the products that the other traders want to sell and the services that they want to market. Therefore, different methods are adopted, chief among them being the advertisement. Advertisements are used extensively, spending crores and crores of rupees to market products, exaggerating the good effects of their products beyond all expectations. We find people performing stunts that are beyond the normal human being with the object of impressing the customers and making them purchase their products. The advertiser and the marketing professional wants every consumer to be dissatisfied with himself, to be dissatisfied with what he has, so that when a man gets up and looks at himself in the mirror, the advertiser will tell you, you are overweight. And unless you reduce, you are going to have health problems. We have the product that will reduce your weight. And if you are underweight, they tell you, you are underweight, you have to enhance your weight. We have a product that will increase your weight. If you are dark-skinned, the advertiser will tell you, no, you have to be fair-skinned. Fair skin is a sign of beauty. We have the fairness creams that are advertised everywhere. And if you are fair, they tell you that dark skin is a sign of beauty. In fact, in the Western countries, it is creams that reduce the color of your skin that they are marketing. And it has been recently found by the medical fraternity that the main cause of skin cancer, especially in the West, where people are used to sunbathing, to acquire that sunburn, which is accepted as the sign of beauty, the sunscreen lotions that they use are the main source of skin cancer. Well, therefore, what I want to emphasize is that the advertisements try to lure the consumers. Then we have persons, stars who enjoy the admiration of the people. A person like Amitabh Bachchan is used to endorse a product. He is now in a lot of controversy because he has been endorsing the milk bikis, Britannia milk bikis, which the health experts say is a health hazard. Well, therefore, these advertisements lure the innocent consumers to purchase these products. Well, after one purchase, they may feel that they have made a mistake, but then the object of the person who wants to sell has succeeded when at least once the customer has purchased it. Then another thing is the freebies, what I call. Every product will give you something free. But you must understand, the consumers don't understand that the coffee mug that they get along with their coffee is also paid for by them. It is a fact that nothing in this world comes free, and everything that is offered as free is paid for by you. Only thing is that you do not realize that you have paid for it. And products are brought out with epithets like improved, strong, Amrudanjan, they say this is strong Amrudanjan, or without absolutely no difference in the ingredients, with the object of luring the consumers. And then comes the discount sales. Discount sales attract such a lot of consumers. They purchase articles thinking that they are offered at a discounted price, whereas in reality, there is absolutely no discount. The Amazon, they have the great Amazon sale, and in the last great Amazon sale, it came out in the newspapers that crores and crores of rupees worth of articles were purchased by the Indian public. See, problem is when these products are offered in this manner, what the consumer does is to purchase things they do not really need. Economists will tell you that in an economy where the citizens purchase only the essentials that they need, there will be no economic activity. Economic activity can be there, and an economy can flourish only in a society where the people purchase things they don't actually need. And in discount sales, by going to a shopping mall, what we do is that we purchase a lot of things that we do not need. So this is the way in which products are pushed. And we have, to reduce weight, we even have the medical fraternity advertising for liposuction, surgical procedures like liposuction for the purpose of reducing weight. Well, therefore, it is through these techniques that the products are pushed and the consumers persuaded to purchase these products. Therefore, in this scenario, let us take a look at the consumers as a class. And when I say consumers, I'm not talking about the third person. Each one of us is a consumer. Therefore, we are talking about each one of us. When we say consumers, we are talking about us. I am a consumer when I am using the metro. I am a consumer of the services. When I purchase an article, I am a consumer of that article. But my interest in that article diminishes and disappears as soon as I finish using it. The moment I get out of the metro, my interest in that service is gone. So even if there was any deficiency in the service of the metro, I forget it and I go after my own business without bothering to waste my time to complain about what the deficiency in service that was there in the service on the metro. This, coupled with the fact that the consumer is totally unorganized. There is no organization that binds the consumer together. It is because of the lack of subsisting interest in consumerism that an organization becomes impossible. And the triviality of the interest that each consumer has. Therefore, it is not possible, or I don't see any possibility in the near future of having an organization of substantial strength that will be able to further the interests of the consumers. It was taking into account and recognizing these factors that as far back as in 1986, the Consumer Protection Act of 1986 was passed. But at that time, the commerce was mainly between the shopkeeper and the customer. Customer used to go to the shopkeeper and purchase things from there. With the electronic revolution and the electronic media, the entire scenario changed. And online platforms surfaced. offering a lot of services, and the people, the consumers also changed their mode of purchase. They started, now the bulk of the things that people purchase in our country has shifted to the online platform. So this further complicated the situation, because how is the right of a consumer to be protected in this scenario? Where now when I order an article on the online, it comes from somewhere in India, from a manufacturer whom I do not know, I have not seen, and it is supplied, delivered by a person who is a total stranger. How do we get to enforce the rights of the consumers in this scenario? See, it was all these things that made the Parliament realize that the 1986 Act had become obsolete, and that a new enactment that was responsive to the needs of the changed commercial activities that was required. And the product is 2019 Act. I'm not saying that 2019 Act is free of all defects and shortcomings. It has got certain shortcomings, and Shyam Padman has looked at a number of shortcomings in his book, which you will be able to go through and find out in leisure. Therefore, the 2019 Act created a situation where the rights of consumers are given a much more powerful means of enforcement. The earlier Act had only the consumer disputes redressal agencies, which were called the consumer dispute redressal forums, whereas the present enactment has got two sets of authorities. There is one set of authority called the Central Consumer Protection Authority, which is a monolithic authority for the whole nation, and then they have retained the consumer disputes redressal commissions at the district level, state level, and national level intact. And the consumers are now given the freedom to prefer their complaint online. They can also file or prefer their complaints before the district commission, in which they of their choice. Therefore, it gives a lot of elbow room to the consumer. He need not go to the consumer authorities. He can sit in his office or residence and prefer a complaint, that too at the place of his choice. He may purchase a car in Bombay, but if he is residing at Cochin, well, he can file the complaint at Cochin. And then the consumer protection agencies, that the consumer disputes redressal commissions, have been conferred with powers. Of course, they were having the criminal powers of a magistrate earlier also. Now they have been conferred with the powers under Article 21 also. Therefore, all the powers that are available to a civil court for executing a decree of a civil court are now available to the consumer disputes redressal commissions. Therefore, now it is possible for these consumer redressal commissions to function in a more effective manner, so as to make the consumer rights more meaningful. The Act lists out the rights of the consumers, the right to know the details of the product that they are purchasing. They have the right, the measure of the product that they are purchasing, and also the right to ventilate their grievances. All these rights are put in the statute, itemized in the statute. And the author, the Shyam Padman, has dealt with all these aspects in considerable detail. The book consists of 2 volumes. The first volume, which contains part 1 of the book, deals with just sections 1 and 2. Section 2 deals with definitions, and each defined expression has been dealt with separately with reference to the case law on the point, the parallel expression definition that was there in the 1986 Act and the comments have been given in very crisp terms, clear language. It is not at all difficult for a person, even a layman, to look at the comments and to understand what is stated. And the definitions occupy the major portion of the work, which is commendable, certainly because it is the scope and width of the definitions that would control the other parts of the enactment. And the other, volume 2, contains the rest of part 1, where sections from 3 to 107 are dealt with. At each of the sections, the commentaries are given. The parallel provision in the 1986 Act that was repealed is given, comments on the previous enactments and the new enactment, as well as the decisions of the courts are referred to by the author. So you get on a single page all these details at one go, without searching for it. The only thing is that you will have to update whatever, because I think this book is updated up to 31st of December 2022. Only what has happened thereafter needs to be looked at. Now, the second part 2, deals with Consumer Protection Act, law and practice. That is a portion that deals with various aspects of the practice of under the Consumer Protection Act, and it's very informative and in fact illustrative also. And the third portion deals with the position abroad and the position of consumer law in United States of America, the United Kingdom, Australia and Canada. 4 countries have been summarized and given in this book for the benefit of the persons who are desirous of continuing a more detailed study comparing the position in other countries. And this is part 3. And then there is the appendixes. Appendix gives you the entire enactment and the rules that have been brought out under the enactment. Therefore, this book offers you a compendium of the entire law insofar as consumer protection is concerned. And it gives the student, the lawyer, and anyone who is interested in consumer protection all the information that he would need to commence his work on protecting the rights of consumers. Consumers' rights are the least protected in our country. You know, it is the consumers who bear the burden of every tax hike, of every financial commitment that the governments of the ruling party may make, including the much hyped rise in liquor prices, which according to the government does not affect the common man. It in fact affects only the consumers, because the people who actually consume the liquor are the working class. And the working class, when their essential commodity is dearer, they will ask for more wages. And by paying more wages, the ordinary person pays for the hike in liquor also, even though they do not touch liquor. Therefore, there is no proper enforcement of the rights of consumers. Let us hope that this book will enhance the level of enforcement of consumer rights and would instill the knowledge in every consumer regarding the rights that are available to him and prod him to action to see that the rights are enforced in a proper way. Thank you very much. With these few words, I stop. Thank you.
We request Hon'ble Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, the Chief Justice of Kerala, to address us.
Honorable Justice Surendra Mohan, President Kerala State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, my esteemed brothers and sisters, judges, former and present, Honorable Justice Ramkumar, former Judge High Court of Kerala, Mr. Gopalakrishna Kurup, General Advocate General, Mr. Mohan, the Deputy Solicitor of India, and respected senior lawyers, Additional Advocate General, Ms. Santama, President of the Kerala Advocates Federation of Non-Lawyers, law officers of the central and state governments, Simi Bindu, Vice President Kerala High Court Advocate Association, Mr. Naveen, Secretary Kerala High Court Advocate Association, the author of the book, Mr. Shyam Padman, Advocate Kerala High Court, Mr. Bindu, Vice President Kerala High Court Advocate Association, my dear junior lawyers, ladies and gentlemen. I am immensely happy to participate in this book release function organized by the Kerala High Court Advocate Association. I have collected a lot of materials about the author, read few pages of the book, wanted to speak for a longer time. But today, the program is arranged in such a way that about the presidential address was given by Bindu about the author. Introduction was also given by Mr. Justice for Mr. Ramkumar. There was an introduction of book by Brother Justice Surendra Mohan, President Kerala State Consumer Redressal Commission. Therefore, I have nothing more to add about the author and the difficulty of the last speaker. So everything will be said about the author, everything will be said about the speaker. And then I just wanted to know the background of this lawyer as to how he has started. One thing which is common in he has done the first medical legal case, I was told here. My brother was a student of a medical college. A professor of surgery had a problem with a consumer. So he filed a consumer petition there before the consumer court. And it so happened that I drafted the first consumer case in Madras, which was ultimately argued by Mr. K. Parasar, Attorney General, but we lost the case, and Supreme Court has held that doctors will come under the purview of the Consumer Protection Act. So I was told that he has been practicing for 3 decades and been appearing in many courts. One thing also which is there common, but I could not succeed. When I was practicing as a lawyer, I had an opportunity to appear as a government advocate against many senior lawyers. That's a very wonderful opportunity if you are a government counsel. Many of the government counsel have become judges here. So I thought one day I should become a government pleader. The highest one there in Madras is government pleader, but here this is the lowest one, next to the Advocate General. And when I was appointed as additional government for education, there was only one book which was published by an advocate and was also a publisher, no more. It contains only the acts and the rules, nothing more than that. So I was additional government for 3 years for education department, but I couldn't succeed, that's what I'm telling. I collected all the laws, right from Montessori school, high schools, higher education, polytechnic, paramedicals,
universities, etc., it ran into nearly 11,000 pages. So I wanted to write and publish a book. 11,000 pages, in fact, I could not do it at once at a time. Therefore, it took a long time. I dropped the idea. I may have revived that idea after my retirement. About the Consumer Protection Act, much is said about the various changes made in the Consumer Protection Act. High Court of Kerala has virtually saved lawyers as should be the basic structure of the Constitution of India. In the recent past, High Court of Kerala is also in the limelight and being recognized by the Supreme Court that a Hon'ble Judge and the Registrar of this court have been appointed in the committees in the Supreme Court. Recently, Honorable Justice Jaishankar Nambiar has been included in the advisory and consultative panel for NALSA. I wish all of you to congratulate him because that's a very good committee. It's a committee, name of the committee itself is Advisory and Consultative Committee, and he is one such nominee. So, this commentary I have seen provides section-wise section guidance on the Consumer Protection Act. And as rightly spoken by the chairman of the Kerala's Consumer Redressal Forum, there is a comparison of the earlier provisions as well as the provisions of the present Act 2019. In the line of recognition, I must say that Mr. Advocate Shyam Padman has been rightly recognized as the renowned LexisNexis book company. It is a very good company and all the books are very good books. And it's a great recognition by the company to the advocate. I do not know how he finds time to write books because I was told he's a very busy lawyer. I was also informed that apart from lawyer and academician, Advocate Shyam Padman finds time to host legal webinars titled Legal Empowerment through Interaction Lecture Series on several legal topics. And it is indeed heartening to note that the webinars have crossed 281 episodes. This book, without any hesitation, because I've gone through a cursory look of the book. It contains all details, laws, rules, case laws, and it only shows the strenuous efforts taken by Mr. Padman in bringing out the book, which is very, very laudable, and it is certainly used by all stakeholders. I honestly hope that Advocate Shyam Padman will continue to keep his work and writing books on different areas. It may take some time, I know it may take some time, but it will be useful for all of us authoring books on these type of topics. Before parting with the speech, I would like to quote the following words of Gandhi, stressing the importance of consumers to the producers and their activities involved in marketing of goods and services. A customer is the most important visitor in our premises. He is not dependent on us, we are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work, he is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider in our business, he is a part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him, he is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. I take this opportunity to congratulate the Kerala High Court Advocate Association for organizing this book launch function. I congratulate Mr. Shyam Padman for his work and also acknowledge his commitment in creating legal awareness to the public at large. I express my sincere gratitude to the organizers of this function. Thank you very much.
At the function, Srimati Bindu, Vice President of Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Hon'ble Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Mr. Justice Surendra, Mohan, Chairman of the Kerala Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, Mr. Justice Ramkumar, former Judge, High Court of Kerala, the author of the book, Sri Shyam Padman, Naveen, Secretary of the High Court Advocates Association, Sri Bindu, Vice President of the High Court Advocates Association, honorable judges of the High Court who are present here, former judges of the High Court who are present here, senior advocates, senior law officers, advocates, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Manu, Deputy Solicitor General. It's a matter of great pleasure to be part of this function for launching the new and revised edition of the book, the Relating to Consumer Law by Sri Advocate Shyam Padman. As you can see, that book in 2 volumes running into some 2,365 pages deals with in detail in all aspects of the subject and the topic in detail. And you will find that the effort taken by the authors and the team in coordinating, in compiling, in collecting materials to produce such a work. And you will find that the glance through the pages will show that the effort taken by the author and the team in releasing such a revised new edition of the book, which was originally published in 2005. You will find that this is the 4th revised new edition. And during the last 3rd edition was published in 2017. And subsequently, during this period of 5 years, you will find that a new act was enacted, replacing the earlier 1986 Act. And the book contains all those details which related to the decisions, judicial decisions, and other things relating to the subject as it stood prior to the amendment in 2019. And you will find that sincere efforts were taken by the author to revise the new edition, including the new provisions of the Act, and to collect all materials in relation to the new acts, new provisions of the new Act, and the decisions which have come in the last 3 or 4 years by almost all commissions, National Judicial Commission, state commissions, and even to the other forums where it was taken up by the persons who are agitating on various aspects of the matter before various courts of law. And you will find that this will be a book which is useful to all sections who are related to the disputes redressal commissions, and for lawyers, for members of the bench, and all those who are interested in prosecuting their claims before the consumer dispute redressal forums, the 3-tier forums which are now functioning right from 1985 after the enactment of the first Consumer Protection Act. And therefore, I congratulate Sri Padman, Sri Shyam Padman and his colleagues in bringing out this new revised edition and adding the law library. And I hope that as promised by the lawyer in his preface to the edition, fourth edition, that this is the first kind of work and this will follow other works prepared by him, or we can expect more contributions, more work, more editions of other works on other subjects of law, which will add credit to the author in the coming future years. I wish him all success in future also in bringing out such new editions or new works on new subjects. I conclude and thank you one and all.
Hon'ble Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Chief Justice, Hon'ble Justice K. Surendra Mohan, Hon'ble Justice P. Ramkumar, Learned Advocate N.L and my respected senior, Sri K. Gopalakrishna Kurup, Sri Bindu, Sri Naveen, Sri Bindu, Sri Shyam Padman, Honorable Judges and former Judges of this court, Learned Additional Advocate General Sri KHCAA, Learned Director of Prosecution Sri D.P Wadhwa State Attorney, Senior Counsels and also my dear friends. I'm very happy and proud that one of our colleagues have successfully revised and published this book, which will be a significant contribution for the entire legal fraternity of this country. We are all good story writers when we draft a repetition. And if our case is weak, the story will be more colorful. But beyond that, finding time for pursuing academic endeavors like this is generally very difficult for any busy lawyer. I have appeared against Sri Shyam Padman in two matters when I was the senior senator standing for counsel for executive administration. When the situation in the Union Territory was much volatile and he was ferociously arguing two cases, then I understood the depth of his preparation when he comes to court. For such a busy lawyer who is always insisting on thorough preparation for every matter, finding time is too difficult, and the sacrifices which he has made will be much beyond our expectations if I assess it properly. I must congratulate him for this endeavor, and I wish and hope that this book will be appreciated across the country, not only by the legal fraternity but beyond the legal fraternity also, for the reason that the Consumer Protection Act is a subject which is always looked into with great interest by the general public also. I wish that he will continue with his academic pursuits and contribute more to the legal fraternity and also to the legal literature. I wish him all success. I once again congratulate him and also his team, which he has mentioned in the preface. Thank you.
First of all, thank you. Thank you very much. Chairperson of today's function, the Vice President of Kerala High Court Advocates Association, the Chief Justice of the day, Honorable Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, Justice K. Surendra Mohan, President of Kerala State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, Justice V. Ramkumar, former Judge High Court of Kerala, Senior Advocate K. Gopalakrishna Kurup, Advocate General of Kerala, Advocate Manu S. Deputy Solicitor General of India, Advocate T. Naveen, Secretary Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Advocate Bindu S. Vice President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Honorable Judges, former Judges, invited guests, especially Advocate Surendra and his son, Advocate Shyam from Hyderabad, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply indebted to the President and members of the Executive Committee of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association for bestowing this honor and recognizing the value of the efforts put in by me and my team in bringing out this two-volume comprehensive commentary on Consumer Protection Act 2019. I am grateful to the Chief Justice and the Advocate General for releasing the book and the generous compliments as well. Justice V. Ramkumar sir and Justice Surendra sir for the introduction and the kind words, and the Deputy Solicitor General of India for his felicitation. Thank you very much indeed. Instead of perceiving this occasion as one showering accolades on me and my team, I would rather consider this as an event that may inspire and encourage many others to venture into writing books and dissemination of whatever knowledge, wisdom, experience they would have gained. And thus giving back something back to this profession, it has given us almost everything, if I may say so. In 1990, when I started my practice under the tutelage of Sri D.P Wadhwa of Calicut, being one among the many juniors here, I think I was the 14th or 15th junior attached to that office. I was assigned to the peripheral codes, Labor Code, HRNC, Industrial Tribunal, etc. Even though the Act came in 1986, the first consumer forum was established somewhere in 1990, and by default, I was assigned the consumer code. It was never by design that I chose this subject. So I went on to that, and in fact, the first judge was my friend Ranjith's father, who was the retired district judge, Naveen sir, who was managing the district court of Code. From then on, I grew up with this act, curiously and with interest watching the development through amendments, through judicial interpretations. My keenness in the subject and regular presence in the three-tier consumer fora mockingly earned me the nickname Palkiwala of Consumer Code. In fact, I think this is Communication sir has left. In fact, in the last week he was mentioning in the code that the same thing. So, but I took it in the right spirit in the sense like my interest in this field grew, and especially because it had an interface with the two other subjects with which I had interest. One was medical negligence and the other was cyber law. So there was an interface between these three subjects, and I started to plunge deep into the subject. Maybe that is the reason why when Kerala Judicial Academy, under the directorship of Justice K.T. Shekaran sir, decided to have a 3-day residential program for all the presidents and members of the consumer forum in the state, selected me to completely arrange the function, select the faculty, and also to take classes, not once, twice. So this added more responsibility and my interest in this subject. Then came COVID. COVID had its own positive effect. I mean, being COVID positive may not be very pleasant to say, but for me it was very positive in the sense like we started a small group of interaction. It was an intra-office thing, Calicut office, Cochin office, and for that matter Delhi office. But it grew when Justice Ramkumar sir, Abraham Matthews sir, and others stepped in. The dimension entirely changed, and like mentioned by the earlier speakers, it has now reached 281 sessions, that too with the giants in the field. This gave me an opportunity to interact with the best in the legal field, advocates, judges, jurists, academicians. These interactions humble me and open my eyes to the fact that I have so much more to learn. Littles of the lecture series introduced me to one wonderful character, Sri Narasimhan Vijayaraghavan, advocate of Madras High Court. He's a prolific writer, voracious reader, and he has got lots of publications. Even the latest commentary on Evidence Act is by him. He introduced me to the publishers, and solely basing on his reputation and recommendation, they entrusted me blindly, I would say, this work. And they were very, very accommodative of my schedule. I mean, it was time bound, but they accommodated whatever timelines I had to reschedule. They were very, very accommodative. And I know for a matter of fact that I have been an administrative nightmare to work with, but I am truly appreciative of the time and patience as well as for this opportunity. This venture would not have been possible, like mentioned by the learned earlier speakers. This was a team effort. I was at the helm of affairs, of course, I was guiding, I was also doing the commentary, research, everything, but collating and getting the materials was done by a team, headed initially and throughout by Advocate P.O. Harol Jaiman of Delhi, Then my daughter was there, Advocate Ashwati Shyam, then Nasreen Haider. Then special thanks are due to Advocate Anjali Jimichan, then law students Navya Thomas and Thomas KM. Besides the interns from at least 6 law colleges, they were interning with me, and when I suggested, the mentors or the principals or the directors of those institutions said that they were happy to associate with this venture, and I could collect all the materials that was necessary. Then it was only a question of sifting between chaff and wheat. I would be remiss not to mention my wife, Advocate Rupa, who is also present today, and also my office both in Calicut as well as Ernakulam, who through their persistent handpicking saw to it that either me or the book finished. But fortunately, it was the book and not me. Honestly, I am indebted to them for holding down the fort both at home as well as at work, while this endeavor of mine consumed bulk of my time. Thanks are due to Advocate Bobby M. Shekhar, Leah Mary Joseph, Harish Abraham, Nipin, Alagananda, and Jwala, and of course Advocate Harish and Manoharlal of Calicut for the critical support whenever needed. My office staff, Rizana, Sharath, Danya, and Satish also require special mention. At this juncture, I have to particularly mention my partner, Advocate C.M. Andrews. Our relationship dates back from the days we were together in the Calicut office, that is with our senior Advocate D.P Wadhwa sir, when we used to have Jyoto sir also visiting us frequently. So, mention also has to be made to Advocate S. Ranjith of Trivandrum, who was giving us constructive support. It was when we started this journey, I thought it's not going to happen, but everybody helped, and that product is not mine, it is of the team. This function would not have been possible without the tireless efforts of Advocate Bobby M. Shekhar, who for the last many days has planned, organized, arranged, and seen to the smooth execution of this program, who has veritably been the Swiss Army knife of people. Thank you, Advocate Mita and Advocate Jiko, our Master of Ceremonies, for leading us through this program, Advocate Ranjith Narayan for the stage coordination, and thank you to Lilo for facilitating live streaming of this event. To conclude, I'd just like to make few statements about, Justice Surendra sir had already mentioned about my concerns about the new act. When I went deep into it, even though at the first blush it may be very customer or consumer friendly, I have my own apprehensions, which I thought I'll share with this august audience. Not that I necessarily I may be right. The limited freedom afforded to me while editing this established work, which is having a Wadhwa legacy, restrained me from expressing my apprehensions and concerns about the 2019 Act, though I could put a paragraph in the preface. The defects and deficiencies in the existing system highlighted in the report of the committee headed by retired Justice Arjit Pasayar is not properly appreciated. At the instructions of the Supreme Court, a committee was constituted under the chairmanship of Justice Arjit Pasayar. Elaborate committee report has been submitted. But I don't know, I may be wrong, but I feel that the concerns expressed therein are not properly expressed. Even though from section 31, we have reached 107 sections in the new enactment. But I feel so. In the pending suo motu repetition civil number 2 of 2021, the Supreme Court expressed its anguish over the fact that no legislative impact assessment was done before promulgating or implementing this act. And the legislative impact study undertaken was during the COVID time. In a hurry, that too during the COVID period, is what the Supreme Court says. And the requirement of more comprehensive legislative impact study as a continuing process was emphasized by the Supreme Court. The matter is still pending. The fine distinction between, it's very easy to say that why a Consumer Protection Act? To protect the consumer. No, I beg to differ. It is to protect the consumer interests. According to me or to my limited understanding, consumer interest takes in all stakeholders. My status of a consumer can happen only if there is a producer, if there is a supplier, if there is a service provider. I am not a standalone unit. So when the entire ecosystem is protected, when all the stakeholders are taken care of and taken into confidence, then and then alone, an enactment like this can survive and flourish and will be of some practical utility, is my humble submission. Then, the different provisions of the new act may be counterproductive. I'm saying all this, don't take me amiss, because this is a wonderful enactment. I just thought that I'll just share some of my concerns. Otherwise, 90% of the act is pro-consumer. It's a wonderful enactment. The radical provisions with the practical realities that we face in the country. Number one is unlimited pecuniary jurisdiction to the district forum. It's not unlimited pecuniary jurisdiction, but the component of compensation has been taken away. So, what is reckoned for pecuniary jurisdiction is the amount paid as consideration or for services rendered. Whatever be the compensation you claim is not reckoned. So, you can claim $10 million, $10,000 million, or whatever it is before a district commission. I am not concerned about that. My concern is that if you want to prefer an appeal, the pre-deposit is made mandatory. Whatever be the amount directed by the district forum, 50% has to be deposited even to have the appeal numbered. So you have to either beg, borrow, or steal the money to have an appeal even preferred before the state commission. That may be counterproductive, is my one concern. Then, number two is that dilution of territorial jurisdiction. Just like the intellectual property legislation, now territorial jurisdiction assumes no importance because the Act says that where the consumer resides or works for is. Then that also may be counterproductive because we live in a country, we still experience the oppression of geography. So before I render my service or before I provide goods to somebody, it might be just like a defensive medicine that began when there was too much of litigation regarding medical legal things. I suspect that there is a possibility of denial of services because I may insist to know your place of residence or place of occupation before I render my services, whether medical, whether legal or something else, because it may not be very comfortable to resist a case if somebody from X place comes over here and goes back to his hometown and sues me. Then, absence of corresponding provisions like Section 26. In the old Act, we had a provision where frivolous and false complaints can be dismissed with cause. That is conspicuously absent in the new enactment. Transfer of case, it can only at the behest of the complainant or by the commission, not at the behest of the opposite party. Another aspect which is a bit disturbing is relegating the qualifications of the presiding officers to the rules. Earlier, either it should be a district judge or a person and entitled to be a district judge, a High Court judge, or who was a High Court judge, Supreme Court, or who has been a Supreme Court, Supreme Court judge. That all has been taken away from the new Act and has been relegated to the rules, which could be overturned. And finally, quoting the Privy Council, our High Court and the Supreme Court has said that the plight of a litigant in India starts when he gets a judgment in his favor. Order 21 has now been imported for execution. All of you know that one can thrive endlessly on just Order 21 and need not study any other portion of law if you want to survive in this field. So, in this background, I feel that this 45-day period for filing the version, that has been made mandatory. All this put together, I believe that if a proper impact assessment study is made, there will be changes and those changes will be in the betterment of Now, one more aspect which I may be excused for saying is that as far as the general public is concerned, consumer fora, they don't see it under the Civil Supplies Department or Directorate of Consumer Affairs. They see it as just as a judiciary. So, any compromise, defect or deficiency in the working of the consumer fora erodes the faith in the common man, in the judicial system. They don't know whether it is under Civil Supplies Department or Directorate of Consumer Affairs. So, if I may submit before this August Assembly, interference from the constitutional courts whenever there is erring on the part of the consumer fora is required, and the hands-off attitude basing on a couple of decisions of the Supreme Court may not be appropriate and may even be detrimental is my humble submission. I am sure that the consumer jurisprudence in the country will evolve with proactive legislative and judicial interventions and the salutary objects and objectives achieved. I am extremely indebted to all of you for being present today. I don't know how to thank all of you and especially the association for this. I'm sure that many of you may not even read the book because it's too voluminous and many of us may not be interested in this subject. But it is something that the entire team has put the work together for 1 year, and I'm indebted to each and every member of the team. Thank you very much.
Honorable Mr. Justice K. Manikumar, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, President of the Function and Vice President of the Association, Simi, Bindu, Hon'ble Mr. B. Ramkumar, Justice K. Surendra, Mohan, Advocate General, Deputies of the dignitaries, honored of the dais, serving and former judges of the High Court of Kerala, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Shyam Padman for taking such a Herculean task to pen such a book which is voluminous as also in quality, which will serve the purpose of legal fraternity. As we all know, when our country grows in economy, when the economy grows and the market grows, the consumer population is sure to explode. And with the growth in consumer population, the exploitation also grows. It is to serve the needs of the consumers that the Consumer Protection Act has undergone some serious changes from the 1986 Act to the 2019 Act, not only in oleum, but also in its purpose and objects. The Act has gone some serious and severe changes. For a lawyer, a busy lawyer like Shyam Padman, to pen such a book that also within such a short time is a commendable work, and the association as well as I would personally congratulate Mr. Shyam Padman on his achievement. Now coming back to my duty, I would express my sincere thanks to Honorable the Chief Justice of Kerala for spending his time and also to release this book. Thank you, sir. I would express my sincere gratitude to Justice B. Ramkumar and also Justice K. Surendra Mohan for spending their busy time and sharing a few moments with us for the release of this book. We'll be grateful to the Advocate General and also the Deputy Solicitor General of India for spending their time and also to grace this occasion. And the center of attraction for the day, Mr. Shyam Padman, we all know that he has taken much pain and also time to pen this book. And going through this book, we can vouch that this is a book more suited for the legal fraternity and to serve the purpose in the courts. So I would express my sincere thanks to him also for this occasion. Finally, I would express my formal thanks to the Vice President of the Association, Simi, Bindu, and also Mr. Naveen for organizing this function. The serving and former judges of our court was present here, and to witness this function, I would express my sincere thanks to them also for being present here. I would express my sincere thanks to the State Attorney, Additional Advocate General, President, Human Lawyers Association, other dignitaries and officials of the central and the state governments, and also officials of this court, registry, Advocate General's office, association, and also all other present here, and our fellow lawyers who has raised this occasion to make this event a grand success. Thank you.
Shubha Name